These are the last moments ng mga bilyonaryong namatay sa Ocean Gate tragedy.
The tragic end to that deep-sea dive to the wreckage of the Titanic.
After the submersible imploded, killing 5 crew members on board. One expert says the fascination around the sub mimicked the captivation with the...
We use these off-the-shelf components. I got these from Camper World. We run the whole thing with this game control.
Yo, what's up? This is Real Talk Darbs, ang pambansang good sa marites ng Pilipinas, where I'm trying to influence you how to think critically about sa mga viral issues ngayon dito sa Pilipinas and abroad. Today, we're gonna be talking about another viral topic patungkol sa mga bilyonaryong namatay dahil sa sinakyan nilang submarine. Nagkulang ba sa pagsunod ng safety measures ang Ocean Gate kaya nauwi ito sa trahedya? Dapat nga bang hindi na lang itinuloy ang pagbaba ng submersible Titan sa una pa lang? At dapat pa bang gawing tourist spot ang lumubog na Titanic? And of course, what are the things that we may be able to learn from this kind of situation? Let's find out. First, let me give you a brief context. Ocean Gate Expeditions is a private company based in Everett, United States, Washington that was founded last 2009 by Stockton Rush. Ayon sa kanilang official Facebook page, ang Ocean Gate ay binubuo ng mga ocean explorers, scientists, filmmakers, at mga individuals na may interes at nais na i-explore ang kailaliman ng dagat. Dito, gumagamit sila ng submarines called Titan that are designed for exploration and scientific research. It utilized built-in advanced safety measures and highly trained, experienced crews, ayon sa Facebook page nila. Last Sunday, June 18, sinigawa ang first and only manned mission na pupunta sa Titanic ngayong taon. It is a trip that describes as a chance to become one of the few to see Titanic with your own eyes. At para ka makasecure ng seat sa submarine, you must pay $250,000 or halos 13.9 million pesos. This expense includes comprehensive training, transportation, accommodation, and of course, a once-in-a-lifetime experience sa mga participants. In this expedition, it consists of 5 passengers na hindi basta-basta because most of them are billionaires and has big names in the industry that they are in. First, of course, is the founder and the CEO of Ocean Gate, Stockton Rush, who is also the pilot of the submersible. Next is Paul Henry Nargelet, isang French maritime expert that had been on more than 35 dives on the Titanic wreck site. Another is Hamish Harding, a British businessman, explorer, and a Guinness Book of World Records title holder. He was also the chairman of Action Aviation, a Dubai-based sales and air operations company. And lastly, ang mag-ama na sina Shahzada Dawood and his 19-year-old son na si Suleiman Dawood. Shahzada Dawood is the British-Pakistani businessman and considered as one of wealthiest Pakistan families. He was also the vice president Pakistan-based Engro Corporation and part of Dawood Hercules Corporation business empire, while his son Suleiman is a student at University of Strathclyde in Glasgow, Scotland. Noong una, terrified that hindi daw umano gustong sumali ni Suleiman sa trip na ito. However, just to please his dad at dahil Father's Day na din, ay pumayag siya rito. Pero gaano nga ba kalaki ang Titan submersible na ito? It is made out of a carbon fiber na may habang 6.7 meters or halos kalahati ng isang school bus. Sa loob nito, super limited lang ng space. It has a capacity of 5 passengers consisting of 1 pilot, 1 crew, at 3 guests na nakaupo lang. Moreover, meron itong very small public toilet and has enough oxygen for 5 people to stay underwater for 96 hours or 4 days. At bago ka makasali sa expedition na to, there will be an agreement that you will sign. Sabi dito,
experimental submersible vessel that has not been approved or certified by any regulatory body and could result in physical injury, disability, emotional trauma, or death. Where do I sign?
Maliban dito, para mapagana ang buong vessel, ay gumagamit lang sila ng game controller.
And it's all run with this game controller and these touch screens.
Yes, no more complex machine. Bukod dito, there is no way out dahil inilock ito from the outside. Meaning, hindi ka makakalabas unless may magbukas nito.
'Di ba? Ito yung mga 5 passengers na
However, as far back as 2018, may mga eksperto within and outside Ocean Gate raised concern about the safety of its Titan submersible. Will Conan, the chairman of the Marine Technology Society's Submarine Committee, expressed the disappearance of the Titan submarine did not come as a surprise. Sabi ni Will, aware naman daw ang committee sa project at meron silang concern tungkol dito. That's why last March 2018, nag-draft ng letter si Will kay Stockton Rush, who he knew was the pilot of the vessel. The letter expressed unanimous concern from the committee members regarding the development of the Titan and its planned Titanic expeditions. Hina-highlight doon ni Will ang apprehension ng committee with the experimental approach since it could lead to negative outcomes, and the copy of the letter was obtained by the New York Times. At sinabi pa ni Will sa isang national public radio that the group's main concern was the lack of oversight and adherence to industry-accepted safety guidelines. Now let's go back to the tragedy issue. June 18 at 8 a.m., nagsimulang i-launch ang Titan from the Canadian research vessel. They expected this trip na magtatagal ng 2 oras until they reached the ocean floor according to the US Coast Guard. At 9:45 a.m., nawala ang communication between the Titan and its mothership. At 3 p.m., nag-fail ang Titan submersible na mag-appear sa surface at the expected time. June 19, nagsimula na ang Coast Guard na hanapin ang submersible underwater. June 20, ayon sa report ng Canadian aircraft, nakadetect daw sila ng underwater noises while they're searching in the area, kaya naman mas pinag-igihan nila ang paghahanap until the next day. June 21, pero still, wala pa rin. June 22, Thursday, in-announce ng US Coast Guard na meron silang nakitang debris o nakakalat na remains o parte ng Titan submersible near Titanic.
Today, an underwater rover found 5 pieces of the Titan 1,600 feet from the Titanic. That's about a third of a mile.
June 23, nag-post ang Ocean Gate Expedition sa kanilang official Facebook account, confirming that the crews and the passenger of the Titan submersible has been lost. Sabi pa rito, we now believe that our CEO, Stockton Rush, Shahzada Dawood, and his son, Suleiman Dawood, Hamish Harding, and Paul Henry Nargile have sadly been lost. This is a very sad time for an entire explorer community for each of the family members of those lost at sea. We respectfully ask that the privacy of these families be respected during this most painful time. Ayon sa mga expert na nag-analyze at nag-gather ng mga debris, it might shed light from the real cause of the disaster. Sabi pa ni Professor Blair Thornton from the University of Southampton, just to give you a clear definition, implosion is defined as an instance of something collapsing violently inward. Sa madaling salita, kabaliktaran ito ng explosion. It's when something shrinks or collapses suddenly. And there were experts that saying that since it was an implosion, the passengers inside the submersible was crushed to their death. Pero ang sabi din ng mga expert that their brain didn't have that enough time to process that they were dying because the implosion is more faster than their brain being able to process what was happening. Alam nyo ba na ang Titanic wreckage is so deep in the ocean, it is 2 Burj Khalifa deep underwater. Isipin nyo 2 Burj Khalifa ang pinagpatong at ganun kalalim ang pinuntahan ng Titan submersible. That's crazy. Now, because of this, nag-spark ito ng halo-halong sentiments mula sa mga netizens at sa mga iilan din at nag-share din ng kani-kanilang conspiracies. Sabi ni Nika Esen, they paid millions for their tragic death. Very unfortunate, RIP. Sabi naman ni Bronze Tattoo, parang libingan ng mga mayayaman ang pinuntahan nila. Halos karamihan ng nakasakay sa Titanic ay mga mayayaman nung araw, tas nadagdag pa ng 5 tao. Sabi ni Loy Key, every single person inside had to do with big things that happened this year. They faked their death. Nobody was ever inside. So, what are the 3 things that we may be able to learn from this kind of situation? Number 1, do not ignore red flags. Most of the time, it's true. Sino ba dyan sa inyo ang hindi nabulag sa red flags? In this issue, we cannot deny the fact na maraming red flags ang submersible Titan sa umpisa pa lang. Did Stockton ignore those red flags? Yes, but for some reasons, meron siyang pinapaniwalaan. He had vision and he had faith with this project. But it is also important to acknowledge those red flags, lalo na kung meron pang ibang involved at hindi lang tayo. Most of the time, we are blinded because we still hope and believe na mag-work out pa ang mga bagay based on our expectations. Sad to say na hindi sa lahat ng oras ay ganun. Kung na-resolve sana ang mga red flags noon pa, can be prevented from happening. After all, being safe is better than being sorry. Walang rush sa pag-usad. Sabi nga ni Mark Twain, continuous improvement is better than delayed perfection. Remember, direction is more important than speed. Number 2, nothing is wasted. Maraming nagsasabi na nagsayang lang daw sila ng pera. Ang mahal naman ang hobby ng mga mayayaman. Kahit gaano ka kayaman, sayang naman ang buhay mo kung mamamatay ka lang din sa ganitong sitwasyon. All in all, they were feeling regretful sa mga namatay. Nasasayangan sila sa pera, pero I don't think that passengers felt the same way. Maybe 50-50? My point is, bago naman sila sumakay doon, alam nila ang pinasok nila. Yes, my fears and doubt. But for the sake of maybe advancement or innovation, they thought otherwise. Ang tinignan nila ay ang bigger picture. However, lives were lost. Tulad lang dati, bago ma-discover ng mga scientists, engineers, doctors, teachers at iba pa ang mga bagay, it may be a cure or a theory. Kadalasan, hindi na sila ang nagtatapos nun dahil handa silang isacrifice ang sarili nila for the cause. Kaya itinutuloy na lang ng iba. Tandaan mo that death is not really the greatest loss in life. The greatest loss is what dies inside of us when we live. So please, don't take life for granted. In a blink of an eye, pwedeng magbago ang ihip ng hangin. In a snap, everything that you may have might collapse. Sa huli, lahat naman tayo namamatay. But, ang goal naman is not to live forever. The goal is to create something that will. Number 3, some things are better left unexplored. Sa totoo lang, kung curiosity lang, ako na siguro ang isa sa pinaka-curious na tao sa mundo. Kaya nga siguro ako naging good Samarites kasi naku-curious akong alamin ang bawat side ng storya. At hindi lang ito applicable sa story, but also in my life. I am for adventure. If I had to get out of my comfort zone, I would. Because life is too short. Medyo cliche man pakinggan, pero totoo ito. Bakit ko pa ba papatagalin ng isang bagay kung pwede ko naman gawin ngayon? However, kahit naniniwala ako sa ganong klaseng mindset, alam ko naman na may mga bagay din sa mundong ito na hindi na dapat pala inuungkat. Lalo na kung matagal nang nanahimik. Tulad ng feelings mo sa ex mo. Hindi mo na dapat siya ginugulo. Kaya ka na-ghost eh. But kidding aside, same with the 5 passengers. In this issue, CEO Stockton's intention is maybe to make the impossible possible someday, while the other passengers would want to be a part of that mission impossible. But for sure, they have other things in mind. Recently, I realized that there are stories in this world that we should have not talked about deeper. Kasi kahit gaano pa kaganda ang intention mo, hindi natin controlled ang magiging reaction nun sa paligid natin. Remember that there are paths that we should choose not to walk. Stories we should choose not to unravel. At mga alaala we should choose not to revisit. Real talk. I understand that there are things that are worth every dime. Hindi naman mahirap magbagay sa isang bagay na alam mong worth it at may value sa buhay mo. Katulad ng pag-aaral, pag-i-invest, whether financial aspect or relational aspect, real estate or more. But I would like to remind you that these things will be nothing kung wala ka na sa mundong ito. Because our lives are more precious than gold. No matter how hard itong buhay natin na ito, no matter how difficult it gets, masarap pa rin mabuhay. It's not only because you can provide, but because you can actually spend it with the people who matters the most. Now, I'm not saying that I wouldn't invest that kind of money if given a chance. Kasi paano kung naging successful, hindi ba? But I would really think, not just once, not twice, but thrice before I do it. Kasi baka hindi pa rin ako handa. However, I also believe na kapag oras mo na. Now, I don't consider these 5 people stupid just because it didn't work. Hindi naman ibig sabihin na failure ngayon, failure na agad bukas. I know that there are lives that were lost. But how sure are we that it was totally a failure? Because for starters, people knew that this was an experiment. If they were sure about their safety, it wouldn't be called an experiment anymore. You know what? Na-consider din kasi ako na stupid noon when I was starting content creation. For sure, some people didn't think that I would be where I am right now. But regardless of what they think, hindi ako huminto at nagpatuloy ako. This story just proves na walang taong nangarap ang hindi pinagdududahan. Mayaman ka man o mahirap. Basta meron kang ambisyon na hindi katulad ng iba, malaki ang chance na mababa ang kumpiyansa nila sa'yo. Maybe you're not inside the submersible, but you're trapped with fear and doubt to try again. Baka natatakot kang sumubok at mabigo ulit dahil iniisip ng marami na walang kwenta ang pangarap mo. But please listen to me when I say this. Just because something didn't work in the past doesn't mean it won't work in the future. Remember that failure is the opportunity to begin again, this time more intelligently. I believe that nothing is wasted. Ocean Gate won't let the lives of those 5 brave souls be put into waste. Ikaw ba, hanggang kailan ka matatakot? Believe me that it's better to look back on life one day and say na hindi ka makapaniwalang nagawa mo yun than to look back and say, sana ginawa ko pala yun. All in all, that the pain of failure is temporary, but the pain of regret is forever.